morning, good morning, good morning, YouTube viewers. Good morning, Facebook Nation. Good morning to all people, all colors, all races, all languages around the world, men, women, children. Good morning to everyone. May you have the best day for whatever goals that you have set forth for yourself on this day. May that goal come to fruition. That it also include the benefit of all of humankind. So if your goals are to make things better for the world, then let those goals come to fruition. As long as it's in a positive way that benefits all people. So I haven't been here for a minute, and we're going to explain that why today. I did it in some of my previous videos, but today we're going to get into it. So a quick video, and the topic for this video is Learn You by Experience. So before I start, I want to say thank you to the 2 subscribers who came and subscribed. You know, you can go into the playlist. There's so many things in the playlist, so many topics speaking about things that we go through in life, just different ways of looking at situations. Also, providing factual information to substantiate some of the questions that people have that say, well, you know, some things are coming from outside of themselves, and we also provide answers for that as well. But today's topic is Learn You by Experience. So this topic is literally why. Let's get into the topic because it explains itself. Well, again, good morning, even though it's evening, but good morning is the most positive thing that a person can say. The most positive, no matter what language, it's the most positive word. So, good morning to everyone. And yes, I am still here. I'm not going anywhere. The reason is because we all need one another. So, you know, I'm not going anywhere. And I know that in a earlier video, as COVID came, it was like every day, we got to be here, we got to be here. But like I said, once they came up with the cure, people no longer focused on, you know, changes that they had to make in their lives, as long as there was a cure. You know, if there wasn't a cure, things would have been, you know, the world would be a much different place. So, you know, not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing, just saying that because everything had stopped, people more or less reflected on themselves. And when the need was no longer there for them to reflect, they just went right back to regular self. However, you know, the few that came out of it, you know, these videos are for you. So, and I'm going to continue to make them, so always check. So as I said in my prior videos, there are only 3 phases of consciousness. And you say, well, what does consciousness have to do with learning you? It's all going to tie in. But first, we're going to speak on consciousness because this video is about me. And one of the phases of consciousness in which I'm in. So this explains that. So there are only 3 phases of consciousness. There's awareness, understanding, and well, get back to it. There are 3 phases of consciousness: awareness and understanding. You have to become aware of something in order to understand it. Okay, so that's consciousness, when you become conscious. Now, the 3 phases are humility, direction, and experience. So we go through a humility period where, you know, we accept that maybe we might be at fault for some things, or we might, you know, question ourselves and how we handle things. So that's the humility part, you know, bringing yourself down to level ground, and some have to hit rock bottom to reach this point, but some of us can, you know, get it right before you're at the point of rock bottom. And then the direction is what you see on social media. We have a lack of trust for, you know, the people in the medical fields. We get better information from people that are online, regular everyday people who have experienced what it is that, you know, we may be seeking out to gain understanding in. So they've gone through it, and we trust their word. It says a lot about big corporate, you know. But it's the world we live in. And then, so that's the direction part, you know, no matter what it is, relationship or, you know, abuse or, you know, science, it's all there for you. But that's the direction part of it. And once you go through that period, you go into the experience part of it, because everything that you've heard, everything that you've taken in, you have to find out if this stuff actually works, and that's the experience side of it. So now, see, it's tying into what I'm speaking about as far as this video and why my videos haven't been, you know, online, you know, constantly. So I discussed these attributes in depth in the playlist. I have many videos in the playlist talking about all these different things that I'm speaking on now. However, today I'm only focused on the one, and that one is experience. As you are or have become aware, I do not post videos daily, nor am I in this for likes, subscribers, or to gain financially from social media. That's not why I'm here, and most of the people that I follow aren't in it for that purpose either. Because if they said the right things, if they said what everybody wanted to hear, their channels would be skyrocketed, and they're not changing their tone. Same thing is here with me. I'm not going to change my tone. We're going to get into that also. So my videos are based on facts, things that we go through in this world based on facts, not based on my opinion. However, if my opinion is given, I will acknowledge that this is my opinion based on a fact that I'm presenting. So I'll always be honest with a fact and opinion, and that's something that I try to preach to everyone that's here. You know, get away from opinions and deal with facts. So, which brings me back to experience. and why it is important to us all to experience life. And are we actually experiencing life? We go through the 9 to 5, and you work, you deal with people, but then once you're out, I'd say about maybe 70% of the population is social media. So even if they're out to dinner, social media. Even if they're at a funeral, social media. Even if they're at a cookout, social media. Even if they're at the movie, social media. So it's taking over, and that's not what this topic is about. But I just had to put that in there. So it has to do with experiencing things, and I'm going to explain why. So I played last night I played the very first video that I had ever made for YouTube, which was Introduction to YouTube. So I advise anyone who's watching, go to that first video, and then it will pretty much say that no one has ever gone off topic, never gone away from what it was that I had said that I came into this for, and I still remain true to it today. No advertisers, no subscriptions, no live feeds, just pure information. Take the information, what you can use it, and what you can use, share it, and live your best life. It doesn't take me, like I said, I don't have all the answers. No one has all the answers. We each have a different part of an answer that has to do with your life. But in the end result, the only person who can correct it, or the only one who has the answer, is you. So we only provide pieces for you to put together a puzzle. So when I viewed the video, it wasn't to see how far I've come, but to acknowledge if I am true to what I promised in my very first video. And the answer to that is yes. So now, how does experience play into this video? Well, as we know, social media is filled with many who offer knowledge, information, theory, science, and relationships. 365 days, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, non-stop. You can click, and whatever you want to know is right there at the drop of the hat. You want to know how to make coffee at 4:30 in the morning? Social media, or not social media, just go on and Google it. So all that information is there, whatever you want, at the tip of your fingertips. It's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing if you're in it too long. You're just getting over and over. You get a piece to one part of your life, you'll get an answer to it, but then you'll go to another site, someone will give you something different, and then it becomes distorted. And if you stay and you don't experience it, then you don't know what works, so you get trapped, and we're going to speak on that last. So on my page, I preach that no one person has the answer. However, if you have gone through the humility phase, you are now in the directional phase. That's where social media comes in. People who are in social media are in a directional phase. They're in there because they want to find answers in order to make them fuller, to move on, to become better people. So just like a taxi cab, social media is only a taxi cab to get you to where you need to be comfortable with yourself. Then some of us get stuck, and let's deal with this. So a phase, again, that many are stuck in. For some, they can come in for a minute, get what they need, get out. Some people can come in here for a few years because they've gone through abuse, they've gone through narcissistic relationships, they've gone through loss of job, life turned upside, divorce, all different types of reasons. But it leaves you in a gloomy state. So those people tend to stay a little bit longer than the next people. But the people who remain constantly are people that have to have validation. So no matter what they've gone through in life, they are there because they need that constant feed of acknowledgement, validation, which is kind of, for me, it's hard to understand because I've never been a person where you had to validate yourself to anyone. Like I said, I believe in me, so I've always had that mentality. Even though people have come to try to break me down, I still stood tall. That's why I make that statement when I say that we're still standing, I'm still standing, we're still standing. And when things come at us, it makes us stronger. It doesn't make us weaker. So that's the difference between a person who may need to be validated and a person who doesn't need it. Because a person who doesn't need it doesn't need any shoulder to lean on, even though they might need a shoulder at that time. They're not going to stay on that shoulder. They're going to use that shoulder for the time just to get to where they need so that they can go on and move forward. So I don't know if that was the best analogy to use, but for me it works. So people who are stuck in this phase, and then you have the people who, like we said, their lives are in disarray and they're in confusion and never having reached the experience phase. Just being out and doing the daily chores and doing the things that you do on a daily basis, that's not the experience phase. Those are the requirements of life. The experience phase is dealing with people who may not share the same views as you, dealing with people who may have the same views with you, but more so people who may not agree with you. But let me tell you about the things where people who may not agree with you, the way that the world changes, we don't shut these people down because they have a reason for why they think the way that they do. Even though that reason might not be something that makes sense to us, it makes sense to them. Because at the end of the day, like what my channel is about, is about brainwashing and manipulation at the bottom of it all, and how to see these people. But you can't see these people and you can't grow as a person if you don't see the person. We're going to get into that because you say, well, wait a minute, how can somebody do something you don't even see them? Try social media, one of the biggest bullying pits that there is. People have committed suicide over the bullying that comes over social media. So what am I doing when I'm not doing videos? I research and I experience life. I go out, I meet people, I talk to people, I just do me, but I'm also meeting people and understanding different things and different thought processes to, make the world a little easier by saying, well, think about it this way. Well, if I can agree with you on this, can you at least agree on this? And then you find out that you have so much common ground. You all want the same thing. The only thing that's different between all wanting the same thing in life is who's in control of making sure everyone has it. No one disagrees with things that are needed as far as the world. It all boils down as to who is going to, be empowered to handle all this stuff out. And this is the fights that we're seeing happening all over the world, where people are rising up to say that, hey, we need to do things, start all over again. But let's get back into what I'm experiencing. So I allow myself time because I get information from different creators, content creators. Like I say, I don't agree with everything that they say, but the majority of their message and the light that they have in them, I can feel it. A person that has light can feel light from another person. It's just something that can't be denied. It's something that is so pure of a vibration that you can feel it. And you also feel it in the way that they deal with other people. And that's the key. Those are things that you can't see if you're sitting on a social media site and, me being a man and I'm, texting you and sending you all these pictures of my best life and look at me and look at that and look at me. And then we get together and you find out that, those things are only once a year or twice a year. Outside of that, I'm a miserable person for the rest of the duration. And this is what people are finding out, the grand illusion. So this is why I go out, I experience life. And, the knowledge that I attain from others. In order to compare it to my life, to know what works, and if my way might be correct, because your way might be correct. So sometimes you might be taking direction for somebody and, your way worked. It wasn't your way that was in question. It was the way, and your way was working when it was dealing with other people. So it was almost, saying, well, there's a wall that has to go up. Don't change your way, but put this wall up to say that, hey, I'm going to stop this. I'm not going to condone this behavior because it's affecting you as a person or myself as a person. So I also stay away from social media during this period. So I'm not on social media. Usually I'm not on Facebook or any of those other places. I make videos and then I put them up. Outside of that, I'm pretty much not on it. I'm a YouTuber, so a lot of it is information and research. It's not to say, hey, get on there and, hey, I'm going to follow this person. I support the people that I support because, their message has always been pure. Their message has always been true. Their message is never about, likes, subscribers, and everything like that. Their message is basically, what we need to do to make this world a better place. And it starts at looking at us first. And this is what this channel does. So I support those channels because, like I said, when I have some of them, there's actually like 3 or 4 of them that when they're speaking, those are words that are coming out of my mouth all the time. So when you hear that, you know that this is pure light and how it works. So why am I sitting out here trying to push videos when I can sit back and say, hey, that the word is getting out, and I'm hoping that those content creators feel the same way. And also, there's a content creator who sent a message today, and I believe that content creator may have been a troll, a person who said that they were part of some radio station, and I could be wrong, but the thing with me is if you're a part of a radio station, you're a part of, something where you deal and you talk with people, then you would have made sure that you left that message there. That's the thing which says what is real and what is not real. If you're not true to who you are, then I'm glad that you did put it. But like I said, there are content creators that come here and they take little bits and parts, and you can do that, But the thing, like I said, is, do it for the right purposes. And for the content creators that have done it, I think that you've all done it, men and women. You've all done a good job, as far as how you took something and you put your spin on it to make it more palatable. Because as one thing that we know is a lot of content creators, our videos are being taken down, and that's all done by trolls, but it's also done because, freedom of speech was always a delusion. It was never something that was real. It was something that was in writing, but never real. For us, we always knew there was no freedom of speech, but for the rest of the world who's just finding that out, well, we were on that boat a long time ago. We knew that, so, you're only experiencing it now. You'll make it through it because we made it through it. So, let me end this because I want to get this done and get this out. So you see, people, experience is a physical action, something that cannot hide behind a text, messaging, or social media outlets, because the real world is far different. Your true abilities, which we all have, which is intuition, discernment, and we also have the capability of feeling vibrations. This is how we judge things. If you're doing this in artificial means, they don't provide that. They don't provide you that one-on-one where you can feel the vibration, you can use discernment, you can read, and you can feel the person. It doesn't do that, and we discussed that before. Of people who get in relationships behind what they saw on social media. So But what artificial means does provide is they provide an illusion. They provide you, if you got a bad picture taken, take it down, put a better picture up. If your house is not clean, take that picture out, clean up your house, and take another picture. You're on vacation, even if you're not on vacation, you're up in the mountains, take a picture and say that you're on vacation. So we're not going to get into that, but that's the illusion that being behind some electrical component, artificial component, something it allows. In ending, I am still here. I'm going to be here. I'm not going anywhere. And I will post videos, so people stop by, check in. My playlist has every topic and also answers the whys in life. So I do not need to repeat myself, and make videos just to make them on a daily basis. The videos that I've made, I stand by until I receive something different that makes me think in a different way. And sometimes that happens, and you can see in some on the playlist where I had to come out and say, I thought this way, but after research and seeing things this way may be a better way. And that's what helps us to grow as people. So this is what this channel also provides. So as I experience things in life, I will also share with you these experiences so that you as well are learning, because we are all seeking direction. But please, all people who are hearing this, please experience what you learn as it pertains to making you the best person in which you can be. So only learn the things that are going to make you better as a person, because if you're better as a person, you can be better to others. So, learning, there's a lot of things on social media that can tell you how to, play the game or run the game, or, and that's counterintuitive to take on that attribute on how to get over. Then you're not the person, you're not a person that can be loved if everything that you're learning is learning how to deceive and manipulate and brainwash. This is why things don't work. When we become better people, we attract better people. Because remember, there are good people that are out there. The only thing is, they're not coming out of the woodwork, because 99 or 98% of what's going on in the world right now is not good. So, these people, just as the same as myself, are living their lives, instead of worried about, who's going to be here, or, what do I have to, hoops I got to jump through. And this is how we, when things are meant to come into your life, they'll come into your life. But at the same time, you have to live your life and you have to experience your life. So that's what basically this channel is all about. And so this is why this channel is all about all people, all colors, all races, all languages around the world, men, women, children. Because a better tomorrow begins with you and I today. So, we have to, take steps in order to make this world a better place. We can't allow people to, continue to dictate it for us. And, we have to think for ourselves. So if you're not seeing my videos on a regular, remember, they're there. And there's a playlist. Like I said, I went through every topic that we have to go through in life to understand life. But also, the newer videos that are going to come out are more so now going to be focused towards comparing what's going on with the earth, because there's far more devastation happening on the earth right now as far as disasters than what's going on in everyday life with us, serious events. And those are the events that I want to shed some light on, as well as how that pertains to the world and every day, and how we're being misled away from the importance of a home, which is earth. And that home is being destroyed, and the home that's being destroyed so much that we live in, but yet still, how much do we really actually think about it? We think about our car, we think about our physical homes. If the roof goes, we repair it. If the car, something happens, flat tire, you get a new tire. But yet still, the earth, you can't do that with it. So, I'm like I said, I want to experience things, but as I experience things, I'm going to put those things out there and how they pertain to us in our everyday lives and things that we can do. So, I know this was kind of long. Hopefully I can shorten it. But I want everyone to have the most beautiful day, have the best day. And remember, change begins by learning you. No one else can do it for us. So, don't count on other people to do it. Count on other people to provide answers. But not one person has every answer. So, those answers are going to come from you. But you also have to experience it. So, men, women, children, all colors, all languages, all races around the world, have the most beautiful, have the most awesome day that you can possibly have. And with that, everyone, peace and blessings.